All right, it looks like we are off and running this Thursday evening. Hey, everybody, I'm meteorologist Vin Crosby from the Weather Show at Vin Crosby here on YouTube. Just getting out and getting my car this evening, looking up, obviously seeing the car clouds. And in the heat, we are in the running, I think, for some gusty winds this evening in southwest Idaho. Now, across the country, there are just a slew of all kinds of watches and warnings that are going on across the region. And so we want to look at some of these as well. And I'm just going to have some fun this evening tracking storms in and around the northwest, the southwest, where you see some of that green right there down there by Phoenix and in the Arizona area. That is flash flooding, folks. Tremendous amount of flash flooding. So certainly that will be an issue as we go through this evening. Let's see if we've got anybody out there watching. Hopefully I'm not getting the horrible echoes I had the other time. Yeah, so we're just going to keep going with this as we go through the evening. If you are watching, love to have you make a comment or chat, and if you could just let me know if you can hear me, that'd be even great. So let's save this and go to this. All right, so let's dive right into what's going on around much of the Northwest right now. We don't have any watches or warnings in the Northwest in Idaho. And I know there's some outdoor events going on. I know my friend Jeff's out there doing some outdoor theater in Meridian tonight, asking what time are these storms going to come on through. And as I go to the current radar right here and then go to this. No, I don't want to remove the radar. I want to come down and open up. Yeah, this is what I'm looking at. As you can see, there's a lot of thunderstorms going on across the region. And so in the Northwest, in particular, here is the latest hourly forecast. And so back through our region, we can see there are storms moving on in from the south to the north, and there's a lot of spin basically over northern California, back throughout much of Oregon, and getting into southeastern Oregon, northern areas of Nevada, and northern Utah. So down along 84, you'll run into some scattered showers and storms as we go through this evening, overnight tonight. And we are, for the most part, doing okay right now. But the storms are going to develop. Now, my concern is that the atmosphere is so hot, so dry, that when we get that warm air interacting with all the rain that's going to fall into it, that we'll get some of that cool air to sink down to the surface, and that causes that downburst wind, and that will spread out from the south and go to the north. The current radar right now in the Northwest So let's go into our local and go into Boise. And so we can see that there are some showers and storms, but they're down in towards southeastern areas of Oregon by Malheur County and Harney County, and then down south of Twin Falls. They are moving back towards the north and the west. Not a lot of high gusty winds at this time. So it looks like from now, at least in the next half hour, 45 minutes to an hour or so, we're looking pretty good. But if a storm pops, which they will erupt off the mountains to the south and then move to the north, that's when we'll start to see the chances for those winds to expand back up to the north and east. So we're going to keep our eye on that as we go through this evening here in the Treasure Valley. So still not seeing if there's anything there. So it says we have 2 watching. So let me go and copy the stream here. And tell folks that, hey, we're on the air right now and we're doing some streaming just because I can. Around the country and the Northwest. Come join and share with friends and family. Alrighty. So that one's out there. Let's do the old Twitter. Alrighty. So that's off and running as well. I don't even know if this is going out. I'm pretty sure it's going in and the audio's good. Still haven't got any messages, so. Looks like I got 4 people watching now. We're rocking it. All right, let's go and do some coverage here. I haven't seen any chat saying I can't hear me or there's static like there was last time I tried this. So let's go. All right. Thanks, Michael D. It looks good. Let's go nationally because I think that's where the big problems are right now across the country is on our national radar. And severe storms are happening all over the place. First of all, this orange in the northwest, that is all heat. That is heat advisories. And then, of course, the pink, that is your red flag warnings for the dry thunderstorms and fire starts. There are some severe storms already popping down in Nevada, just south of Interstate 80 there. And they're moving towards the north, and that's why I'm concerned. Sometimes we can get some of them to pop, and even if they get on the fringe down to the south, then that may be close enough to get the winds into the Treasure Valley. So that is my main concern. I've seen this happen so many times where the storms are miles and miles away. We don't get pretty much any rain, but we get that, 20, 30, 40, maybe even 50 mile per hour wind to come on down through the Treasure Valley. And in the atmosphere, I'm seeing a lot of what we call diffluence and fanning aloft. And that usually adds to thunderstorm development with this heat. Things are going to pulse quick. They'll develop very quickly, and then they'll fall apart very quickly. And so that's certainly a concern across the region here. Now, down in the southwest, we have all this green around, and look at that, this severe thunderstorm warning just outside of Phoenix right now. But all this green is a flash flood watch, all of New Mexico, all of Arizona, and then there's already flash flood warnings going on back around Las Vegas, just south of Las Vegas, around Henderson. And so that's from those storms that were there earlier, causing all kinds of flash flooding. It's so dangerous down there this time of year when you get the water, the rapid amount of water that falls in that desert, it just runs off so quickly. And that's where things get dangerous real quickly. Here is from north of Phoenix, heading from north to south, it looks like. This storm is going to drop down in towards the Phoenix area. So Phoenix, it looks like you are about to get popped pretty good here across the region. So let's go and do some local radars and jump into the Phoenix radar. And now we can get a real good idea of where some of these heavy storms are across the region. So look at this one here. That is a beast-looking thing. And that one looks like it's coming in towards the Cave Creek area, north side of Phoenix. The red up here, this is a flash flood warning that's going on through there. Looks like a lot of these storms, if I put this into motion, are dropping in from the north and then dropping south. And they're continuing to drop south around the Phoenix area. And look at all that activity. My goodness, that's nasty. Back up here as you go up towards the Phoenix area, northwest, heading up towards Prescott, just south of Prescott, and then veering back towards the northwest. That is not a good-looking place. Congress looks like it's about to get popped. And this is Wickenburg and Congress. Who comes up with these names? All right. But looks like Phoenix is about to get pummeled back down in towards the whole area around Mesa, Scottsdale, Peoria, Glendale. These storms are going to continue rotating down through the area. And notice this little band right through there. That is wind. So that's what we're seeing right there with this storm. And then this severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect until 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So this may be an old warning because it is 6:28. So what's going on there? It says current radar not available. So let me check my other stuff here to make sure that I can get the live stuff into my feed. No, that warning looks like it's still up there. So, severe thunderstorm warning for Maricopa County, south central Arizona until 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So, I don't know why that is still up. It looks like maybe that's some old data, but that is heading down towards the south and southwest. Your tax dollars at work right there in the Phoenix area. Oh, my goodness. Saying the current radar is not even available. There it is. There it is. So that's 6:22. So 6:22. So the timing there, maybe I'm off. But they're saying Mountain Standard Time. Fishy with the time zones there. But that's around Phoenix, so nasty stuff all around the Phoenix area there. Let's go and check out other areas across the country. And as far as warnings go right now, down around Houston, Texas. On the south side of Houston, there's a flash flood warning. That's around Friendswood, Pearland. And then this severe thunderstorm warning extends back out here into the ocean waters, so now we call it a special marine warning. That's got another 15 minutes to go or so to 8:45 Central Standard Time. So it's about 7. Well, that's actually 2 hours to go. 2 hours to go. Am I losing my mind? It is 6:30, right? So, all right. So this marine warning going on out in the waters, already up back towards Houston for the next hour and a half or so. So as that band of storms moves on in from the north down to the south across the region. So let's go over there and show you that. So there it is. There's Houston, around Bay City, some pretty good storms coming on in from the north and dropping down to the south. And so that will continue with those, what they call them, gator stranglers. Crazy. Minnesota and Iowa getting lit up pretty good. Yep. So this area here, not a fun place right now. Severe thunderstorms are up through here. So that's the watch, the severe thunderstorm watch in effect. I believe it's until 9 p.m. Central time, and then the warnings are up there as well throughout the region. So let's go and check out the local radars here around Lincoln, Nebraska, where we got this huge severe thunderstorm that's going on. I'm going to take the transparency down on the hazard so we can look at the storm. But that thing is dumping some major hail, and look at that coming down from north down to the south. That is just a nasty looking thunderstorm about to come across Interstate 80 right through there. And then back up to the northwest of Omaha. Omaha about to get pummeled as well. Looks like around Storm Lake. You think they've seen their fair share of storms? Storm Lake back up here to the north. They're about to get hit with some severe thunderstorms as well. So all these warnings that are up means it's happening right now in these areas. So if you know any friends or family in Iowa, you may want to, I'm sure they know exactly what's going on. They're so used to this scenario, but a crazy amount of storms there coming on through the region. I'm just going to, that is up there. I'm going to look at the Severe Storms Prediction Center and check out some storm reports. And it looks like that's where all the activity is, back up there to the north. So they're seeing, well, it looks like they had a land spout. Sometimes they happen when there's a big gust of wind that comes out. It kicks up dust, and that dust gets curled back into the thunderstorm. They call it a land spout. Not much of a tornado. A lot of hail reports. Looks like 1 inch to 1 3/4 inches, golf ball size hail back in those areas up there around southern areas of Minnesota, back around Iowa, Nebraska, and South Dakota. That's a tennis ball size hail report around Iowa. That is southwest of Rock Valley in Sioux County, Iowa. That is nasty. That was a big one up there in the northwest corner. And that happened pretty much, looks like just a little while ago. Crazy. So ping pong and tennis ball size hail being fired up with these storms. So baseball size hail when it comes down, that is this storm back up here. That's where we're seeing some of the big hail that's coming down, northwest corners here. So let's see if we can see that on this. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. Storms are just pummeling Iowa right now. Spencer, Storm Lake, with these returns come in to take the hazards down, the warnings there. Yeah, so where you see those whites and reds up, those are the higher returns. That's where you're seeing the hail shaft come on down across the region. And so like this storm right here that's coming in towards Spencer to the north, boy, anytime you see stuff like this where the red is intermingled with the white and some purples, that is just some nasty stuff that's happening through that area right now. Let's go and check out some observations from that area. So these are observations here. Oh, come on, Crosby, what are you doing? Dun, dun, dun. Now we're cooking. All right, so first of all, in Idaho, not seeing a whole lot, but there are some gusts happening. So look at this. So we already got a 31-mile-per-hour wind gust back out there in Malheur County. So that is my concern tonight. If you're just tuning in, thunderstorms forming over the Owahis, drifting in over southwest Idaho, and sending gusts of wind into the valley floor that could get up 25, 35 miles per hour, maybe higher, and cause some damages. Back over in Iowa, I want to see how many gusts of wind we have back through Iowa here. Not seeing any tremendous gusts of wind, which is surprising with those storms coming on through right now. I think that will change. So maybe it's just a big old hail event cracking some windshields. Baseball-sized hail falls to the earth at a speed of 100 miles per hour. So you're looking at hailstones coming down probably between 60 and 75 miles per hour when they get into that tennis ball and ping pong size hails coming on down. Pretty spectacular. And that's what these storms are over Iowa. So there you have it. Back to Lincoln. Let's go and check out our national stuff. So there were some warnings earlier, and they have been discontinued in Florida, so certainly some pulse thunderstorms there. This radar looks like it's updated as of 6:28. And National radar. Let's go on hazards. Yeah, looks like the warnings are gone out of Florida. So, oh, there's one. Looks like a marine warning down there around West Palm, Florida. West Palm Beach. And Boynton Beach. Just, boy, they get so many storms this time of year. So some good news there. Looks like they're diminishing. So the hot spot is back here in Iowa. That's where the nasty weather is and continues. We are seeing a line of storms right there starting to form, so that will propagate down to the south and east. Looks like we got about another hour or so of these storms continuing to be very nasty. And let's see if there are any discussions for another line of storms in that area back up towards the north and west around Iowa. Looks like they're in a slight risk. It's like tremendous with the storms firing back up across the region. All right, back up in the northwest. Let's see what we got here. So we still have the storms down to the south. And I should show you this, a satellite picture. So this tells a story where you can see the storm system kind of swirling across the region. And this band is working its way up from south to north. And that's what I'm looking at right in through here. This will continue to spin around that area of low pressure, which is over there in southern areas of Oregon, northern areas of California, the northwest corner of Nevada. You can see, for the most part, how it's just brushing. See how it's just brushing the border of northern Nevada, southeastern Oregon? That brush, if you will, is going to be close enough when this piece of energy gets up in towards the Hawaiis. We should see a couple of pulse thunderstorms, and that could send a gust of wind down the valley floor. That's a nasty looking storm right there, rolling off the Sierra Nevada in towards Nevada, just east of Reno. That's not fun looking there. But this is just a narrow band across the region. So if we go back to the forecast map, now you see why I'm concerned. So anytime you get a little bit of moisture or like one of these pulse thunderstorms, and this does show some reds and oranges forming going into the overnight hours. So this is just about, there's 6, 7, and so we don't see a whole lot happening there. 8 is when it looks like things start to really ramp up back to our south, and then going into 9 and 10. And so it looks like going in towards 11 o'clock midnight, we could see a gust of wind come on in from south to north. So you may want to bring in any lounge chairs, anything you have outside that could get blown around. Maybe if you have the umbrella up on the deck or something, just take it, you don't have to take it down, but you can minimize it because that's probably a 30, 45 mile per hour wind that's going to come on through overnight tonight. And that could kick around and blow some objects around. Then, of course, the problem is going to be lightning and the strikes that are coming with that, associated with it, down to our south. So there could be some fire starts back through those areas across the region. This is so fun. I'm going to have to do this more and more. Having a blast. Wait till hurricane season starts kicking off. That should be fun to cover. Not fun for those involved, I'm sure. Let's see what we got here. It's severe thunderstorm warning in the middle of nowhere. Looks like it's just about over. 5:45 Pacific Daylight Time, so we're just about there. So that's probably going to be allowed to expire. And switching back to my national radar. More severe weather in the plains. Look at this stuff. Man. I'm going to stick around here for a little while just because I'm a weather geek. And so this is the Des Moines radar picking up those storms. Several severe thunderstorm warnings out right now. So this one until 8:15 Central Daylight Time. So we got a little ways to go with that one. And I can get more detail if I go back to another map that I can interact with the streaming software. So it gives me I wonder if that's strange. Gives me nothing. Alrighty. But that's the big one there for until 8:15. That's going to be continuing to the east of Sioux City. Surprised there's not a severe storm out on that one there. This one right in the middle here, south of Spencer. They got to be gearing up to put a severe thunderstorm warning out on that one. There's a new update there on the radar, so it's about 5-6 minutes old. Again, we got tennis ball sized hail out of these storms back up here to the northwest of Spencer in Iowa. It's all north of Des Moines, north and west. The watch in this area, severe thunderstorm watch, may be issued. Another one may be issued here in the short term, as the eastern edge of this red area in the county says the storms are just about ready to come out of that area. That goes until 9. But I'll tell you what, I visited the Severe Storms Prediction Center, which is down here in Norman, Oklahoma, years and years ago, and they are amazing in what they do. Amazing in how they can forecast and pinpoint exactly where the storms are going to be hours in advance. Some of the best forecasters in the world work in this little place too. It's not that big of an area, but they are good guys and gals that work there for sure. Where else can we go? I don't think I have a whole lot of activity. I thought it'd be a little bit more activity now for the country. But it looks like that is the area of concern there. We've got the marine warning down by Houston. Air quality stuff, that's the gray boxes you see here around Dallas, the big cities. There was one up around Denver as well earlier. Ozone, bad air quality kind of stuff. And then the flooding. This is just super dangerous stuff down in the south and southwest for Arizona and New Mexico. And the storm system down there, the satellite picture, showing exactly why it's just nasty. So it's fascinating how, I just love weather, how it works. So this system up here back towards our area, you can see that spin in Northern California, Northern Nevada. I'm saying our area, basically. I'm in southwest Idaho. These clouds spinning and pinwheeling here stretched down, the same system, the trough, if you will, stretches down in throughout much of Nevada into southern areas of Utah. And then there's moisture coming in from this system down to the south. The monsoon, you've heard of that term. Basically what it is the warm air, hot air in the southwest rising into the atmosphere, drawing moisture in from the south. It's a circulation kind of a pattern. And so you can see this tropical moisture in here. I wonder what the dew points are down through there. They got to be just way up in the 70s, I'm guessing. I don't want to move that. I want to interact with it. So down around Phoenix right now, I'm going into the observations, and I'm just going to add on the dew points. That measures the amount of moisture, and that's the blue that you'll see here. Woohoo! 100 degrees and dew points in the 60s. Yep. That will get your attention. That's dangerous stuff right there. With the moisture in the atmosphere, the body can't perspire, and that's why we have heat stroke and all that good stuff. Oh, thanks, Jason. Appreciate that. Four Corners Fires up there. Ryan Hall, y'all. I believe that is part of, I don't know how, but basically people will come in and say, bring up his name on my feed and stuff like that. And I hope that it's the other way around too. Yeah, he does a fair job. I like, from what I've seen of him, he's got a good shtick. I'm not sure what his meteorology background is, but this day and age, where there's so much information, it's about getting the information out. And there's so much information that you can get out now. So, yeah, he's doing well. He's getting tons and tons of views, and he's probably making $4, $5, $6, maybe even $1,200 a video with the amount of audience he has. I can only hope. Well, thank you for that, Jason. Yeah, he seems like a nice guy. I know that this area, our dew points are much lower across our area in the mountains, but in the 40s, you get 40s. That's pretty good. Yeah, the Midwest are wild. Great coverage. When I worked at the Weather Channel back in the 90s, I did national radio, and then back then they never had all the technology that we have now. And so we literally would have to do, for these severe weather outbreaks like in the plains and stuff like that, we literally would have to put it hand by hand in the system to activate the counties when you are watching across many areas in the country. And so there are times that folks are on our team you work 10, 15 hours straight sometimes. And back then we had to plot all the watches and stuff like that by hand and then make the graphics, and gosh, it was wild. That was when it was fun. That was when it was fun. Now it's all automated. All these folks doing weather automated. A lot of folks who do the weather now, unfortunately, rely so much on technology. The art of forecasting is dissipated greatly, in my opinion. They're more nowcasters than forecasters. Yeah, appreciate you too, Jason. Did weather 15 years in Idaho, 30-year career across the country. covering hurricanes for the network and NBC back in the 90s. That was fun. Woo-hoo. Nothing like the loblolly pines coming down when the soil becomes oatmeal because of all the flooding rains in the southeast. This is like my fourth or fifth stream. I tried so many times. It's just with all the other stuff went through, life happened, and so I didn't have a lot of time. I had to do a lot of production of videos and forecasts, but I really like the live streaming. It allows you to do so much more, and I think the viewers really get a little bit more out of it, especially when the weather's really bad. And so what I'm looking for here is this, because, yeah, the radar. I get talking. Let's go check in on that marine warning down here around Houston. Oh, look at all those storms back through there, too. See, Texas, man, they get hammered with storms and the rains. It's out in nowhere name. Natchitoches. That's how you pronounce that, by the way. Natchitoches County. That's Natchitoches, Texas. Good line of storms there, but for them, not a big deal. The big deal down there, of course, the amount of water that falls in a short amount of time. Oh, great question. What happened to me on local news? Woohoo! So that's a zinger there. Basically, let's see. Went through a divorce. Literally went from celebrity status to food bank status overnight. And then they were scumbags. It was a local CBS affiliate, and I forget the ownership, but my mind was a mess. I was an emotional wreck. Divorce is one of the most traumatic things. I mean, I was in counseling. It was nasty. They knew that, and those scumbags used that to push me out the door. I mean, they literally. And so I ended up, that's how this whole show started. That's how everything happened. I stumbled into Best Buy trying to just make ends meet and ended up getting a job selling TVs, ironically, 4 hours in the evening. People recognized me, and then I forecast the big winter storm here in the Northwest, once in a 100-year storm. They call it Snowmageddon, and forecast that 2 months before anybody else. Helped spawn other pages out there, and that's how this show got popular. I think I had one video go to 150,000 views in 3 hours across the valley, and the Weather Service and a lot of folks here locally, they're more nowcasters, so I just saw that was going to be a bit dangerous storm and got the message out, and that's how this channel happened, and still growing. So, that was a long time ago, though, and I'm refreshed, and at 53, restarting life, I couldn't be happier. So thanks for asking. That's what happened to me on the local news. I'll never do local news again. People always ask me. I get recognized. Tons of people recognize me when I was on the sales floor at Best Buy. Local weather, local news, it's so different than what it was years ago. It used to be about saving lives. It's all about money now, and getting those ad revenue, and you get streamers. There's tons of us here on YouTube now. You can get up-to-date weather coverage. You can, with your friend there, Ryan, your Hall, whatever his name is there, and you get some popular streamers and getting the information out. I mean, that's a really cool thing. It really is for meteorology. It's, I think it's one of the greatest things that's ever happened to helping people. The problem is everybody's stuck in the old mindsets about weather and forecasting. But I could go off forever about that. One of these years I want to do stand-up comedy. Just to joke and make fun of people who made fun of me all through the years. Alrighty. It wasn't that bad. It was, you miss certain people. You definitely miss different shows, different eras of folks. But no regrets, Wanted to do that since I was a 9-year-old boy, and was fortunate enough to work hard and do some really cool stuff. I'm broke at 53, so but it's all a matter of perspective, right? As long as you're happy. So that's what happened to me on the local news. Pretty fun stuff back across the region. Yeah, I guess you can also donate now because I'm monetized. You can do live chat donations, which is always fun. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, man. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I lost friends of pancreatic cancer. That's just not fun. That is not fun. You got to keep pushing forward. That's right. One day, one moment. That's all you can do. And appreciate the little things. I appreciate people so much, especially after being working about 6 years customer service over there at Best Buy and became a supervisor. And unbelievable the amount of entitled people in this world. I will never, ever be mean to anybody in customer service or waitering or doing any kind of service ever again. Unbelievable. But that's just my 2 cents. A lot of nice people in the world, too. Lots of nice people. That's what we've got to do, just lift people up from time to time. You never know who you're going to impact by just saying hi or smiling or... Still a lot of flash flood warnings still up in these areas here. I wonder how long they have these up. About 8 p.m. So a lot of these are probably going to expire. They're up to about 8 p.m. So hopefully the waters there are subsiding. And let's see. Do I think Iowa storms will die soon? Great question. Let's go and look. Well, they're still cranking pretty good up there. They do look like they are diminishing, though. Let me take a look here at some current weather maps. I guess it's pretty wild how you can stay on the stream and then do this stuff and you guys aren't interrupted, which is pretty awesome. You know, I don't, actually. I think those storms... I'm wondering if the Severe Storms Prediction Center is going to issue another watch. They have that one mesoscale discussion there. Yeah, so that line of storms probably is going to go on for another hour or so strong, where they're really strong to severe in Iowa. I think I have a national... Yeah, this is pretty awesome, this model. It's, I think, one of the greatest inventions in meteorology history. This is an hourly, for every hour it pumps out forecast, and this is a good one. So you can see back up through Iowa and southern areas of Minnesota, it takes pretty much a good cluster of storms right through northern Iowa, southern areas of Minnesota. It's about 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Then they die out. And then going in towards daybreak, a line refires in eastern Iowa. So that is a pretty interesting forecast by that model right in through there. I'm going to try something here with the map. I apologize. I'm just going to make it real big. Put it over my mug. How does that look? That look pretty good? You guys still see that? I know it covers up me, but that's all right. So yeah, now you can really see that line. So no, I don't think, Michael, I don't think that's going to die down anytime soon. I really believe that that line is going to continue pressing to the south and east. Looks like it's trying to weaken a little bit, but personally, I would have extended another watch east of the current severe thunderstorm watch. But that's 8 o'clock there. Sun's starting to go down. Once these storms lose their energy, which is a lot of the daytime heating, they will fizzle out. So I think they're banking on that. But still, numerous showers and storms in that area. And you can see the stuff down around Texas and Florida. I think that's pretty fascinating there. Florida dissipating. Looks like South Carolina. Look at that right there in South Carolina. So, yeah. So showers and storms firing up out of Georgia into South Carolina, going up towards Myrtle Beach. That looks like it's going to go on in towards daybreak as well. And then all the mess for the flooding around Phoenix. This model did a really good job of taking those storms and move them from the north down to the southwest around Phoenix, which is that dot right in through there. And then this model picking up the stuff that's supposed to be coming on in here towards the northwest. You're in north central Illinois. All right. North central Illinois. Yeah, let's take a closer look at this for you, Michael. Thanks for tuning in all the way from north central Illinois. You know, I think you're going to be okay in Illinois. So a lot of that storminess looks like it's fizzling out, just going in towards the daybreak hour and then firing off. So, yeah, you know what? You may be right. Let me go back and interact with this thing. Let's do this. Let's do this. Uh-oh, I moved the graphic. And then interact with this and stop that and go. So this, to answer your question, Michael, that's 13Z, so that would be 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock your time. So yeah, it looks like in the morning, this line of storms here is going to move in your direction. What just happened? Oh my. I had a nice little map. Maybe that one. There it is. Yeah, but thanks for tuning in, my friends. Good to talk and chat with people this evening. Good to talk. And let's see, in the northwest, that's what I'm looking for, the radar. So let's do national and put that in motion. So here's that radar for you, Michael, back across Iowa. So it looks like right around 35. They should start to stall a little bit. You can see that that's happening back up here around Mason City. And so I think you'll be all right until tomorrow morning. You won't have to worry about any of this overnight tonight, so that's certainly some good news there. And they are maintaining this warning here just to the southwest of Storm Lake in between Sioux City. Storm Lake heading down towards Carroll. And And let's take a look at those storms back here, North and South Carolina. Savannah, that is a gorgeous part of the country. My goodness. It's real soupy, a lot of humidity, but that is gorgeous. So it looks like around Charleston, South Carolina, going up along the coastal areas, mainly east of I-95 there. That's where we're going to see showers and storms overnight tonight. And then in Florida, pretty good soakers there. They're going to be diminishing back across. And it looks like that marine warning down there has been discontinued around West Palm. So some good news there. And the marine warning still up there south of Houston. A lot of people out fishing there, and it's another beautiful part of the country. And I think we're doing all right. Let's go back up here in Idaho. Now we're starting to see a little bit of development to our south. This is the concern. A couple of storms have gone severe earlier, right along where the boundary is. You can see it's trying to get organized. A few little echoes in through here. Again, gust of wind, I think, is the big concern from these storms as they form going in overnight into the Owahis. And then that wind will come in from south to north across the Treasure Valley, the Magic Valleys overnight tonight. So things getting blown around a little bit, huh? What's new in Idaho? Yeah, I was just talking to my mother today. She texted and she said about that smoke that you brought up earlier. We've had a good summer. I mean, it has been a real good summer here compared to past summers where, I mean, yes, it's hot, but not as hot as it could have been. But the skies have been blue, crystal clear until just about yesterday, the day before, we started seeing that haze move on in from the north down to the south. And, which is not bad. I mean, it's August, it's the 18th, and we're just now getting smoke. That's a pretty good deal. Not too far away as we go into the fall and the winter. Looks like there's some showers back up here in the mountains, too. North of Sun Valley, back up in towards the Sawtooths. Looks like Redfish is about to get maybe a thunderstorm there. Let's go and check out the Pocatello radar. Yeah, it's picking up some of those higher tops of those thunderstorms there. That's as of 7:03. So it looks like they are diminishing, but still, as the radar beam goes on up from the southwest all the way on up, then we can get the tops of the clouds. I'm not worried about the viewer count. I used to be worried about that. You know, that stuff happens in time. But like I said, this is like one of the few lives I've ever done. And I think the more we do this, you know, that will continue to grow. And if it doesn't, I'm happy. Nonetheless, been doing a little weather consulting. That's been a fun little project, and I like that a lot. So I make a little extra money there. And a lot of people, you know, it's funny. You know, it's funny. People like to follow you, and then they see out there, and then they just don't. I think people are funny in that regards. There's a nice little red area there. So It's starting down by the Nevada border. That thunderstorm right there is one that I think is going to start moving to the north, and then that will start propagating. And now as I go into this radar to our south, we can see more thunderstorm activity around Elko. Now all this is going to continue propagating to the north. Granted, overnight, when the sun goes down, it'll lose some of its energy. But I think what I'm seeing here is some of this stuff is going to maintain. It is going to make it in towards the Hawaii County area and back into southeastern areas of Malheur County. And then with the way the atmosphere is set up for the dry air, it's going to continue to send some gusty winds in from the south to the north. So that was the concern. To be honest, I thought it would pop a little bit earlier, but we lucked out. That's a good news because a lot of people are out and about doing things this evening. I don't even know what I got. A couple of people on this thing. I sure appreciate you guys for tuning in. That's for sure. I got 5 people watching. Yeah. If there was one person watching, I would still do it. Still do it. Yeah, so I'm seeing yeah, that's amazing. So that Ryan, so just to bring perspective into this whole YouTube thing, Ryan Hall guy, 465,000 views 2 days ago. If you get 465,000 views on your video, you are making bank. That is a lot of money from the YouTube ads. So that's pretty good right there. So to bring it in perspective, I have one video that popped the Palm Sunday with a police chase, and that brought me about $75, and that was around 9,000 views, right? So if you just do that math and expand it out to 450,000, 450 divided by 9,000 times 75. So he probably made like $3,700, $3,000 off that one video, just from YouTube ads. Remarkable. But that's the game, man, and you have to keep up with it. Though YouTube is funny that way. I mean, you have no time to do anything else. You got to keep doing it, or you'll lose that audience. But good for him. Good for him. I hope he cashes in. And the live is different. So like the live viewers, once I end this stream, which I'm not going to do anytime soon because I really enjoy talking about weather, then it'll get the search engine, and the search engine will pump more viewership to it. So that's pretty good. No, the air quality has been everything's been great. Matter of fact, I was in Yellowstone 2 weeks ago. I was out in eastern Idaho, back towards Yellowstone National Park, and it was hot. And of course, they're still picking up from all the floods, and the traffic was awful. And I don't think I'll ever go back again in the summer because every state was represented there. But even there, I mean, there was hardly any smoke in eastern Idaho, and got to go out to Henry's Lake, and boy, that's a great fishery. Holy cow. Phenomenal stuff. Let's see the national satellite. I always enjoy looking at the national satellite. So that's what we got going on. And you can see that line of cloud stretches from Texas all the way back through New Mexico and Arizona, up through Utah, right back through Idaho. That's phenomenal how far that cloud mass stretches. Now I can see over here why the severe weather is going on in the east. Love this new satellite. See that sunset coming across the region. So there are those huge storms in the middle of the country. That's phenomenal. You can see those tops, those cloud tops getting up there when you get those anvils, and then you get the top of what we call the upflow, the updraft, to push out through those anvils. It's around 50,000 feet, some of those. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal storm structure there. So Michael will see some of those clouds move into his area overnight tonight. You see those city lights of Chicago. So that's pretty wild. Pretty wild stuff. Up to 7 people watching now. Woo! One of these days, I'd like to go around and interview a lot of these folks. I've seen so many people now just doing the weather and streaming and stuff, and I always like to know their backgrounds. I like to meet people. Meeting people is a fun thing. Thinking of doing a weather dog segment too. I think just go around and watch people and weather dogs. I also have some fishing adventures too. I love fishing, but that's a great little storm. So, yeah, this cool air mass rotating out of Minnesota, the Dakotas. You can see that kind of dipping down in through southern areas, then kind of pinwheeling towards the east, and that northwest flow triggering some of those showers and storms. And then there's all that stuff in Houston around Texas. And then the visible satellite is what you're seeing there in the daytime hours. Then it goes into that infrared satellite picture. So beautiful overnight tonight. Yeah, the storm chasers. That's pretty awesome. So there's a great site. I got to tap into that too. You can go and you can do live feeds, some storm chasers. Super fun. I've never seen a tornado in person, and that is something I've been in Eyes of the Hurricane. I've covered those and forecasts, of course, tornadoes. Seen funnel clouds, but never seen a tornado. So when I worked at the Weather Channel back in the 90s, when that movie Twister came out, there was a husband and wife team that worked overnight at the Weather Channel, and they got interviewed almost every talk show because they were tornado chasers, a husband and wife team, and of course that corresponded of the movie at the time. Matt and Betsy. Matt was one of the best forecasters I've ever seen, ever. Fantastic forecaster, and Betsy was just a sweetheart. But I worked with him on the overnight shift, which was the best shift the Weather Channel has ever seen. I'm just joking. But we had a good time. Anyways, they took months out there doing storm chasing, and I've always wanted to go storm chasing tornadoes. And that is certainly something I look forward to doing in the future, because that just would be the greatest thing, seeing a tornado, forecasting an area where storms are going to form, and then watching the storm form. That is a rush. That is certainly a rush. There's the monsoon stuff. This tells a story down in Texas. Look at those thunderstorms down there in Mexico, over the border. They're just propagating. And a lot of times the thunderstorm, and we're seeing that right there actually, where wonder if it'll let me draw. I love drawing too on this, so boom. Yay. Oh, took that away. So a lot of times we will see thunderstorms like this right in there form, and then the outflow of wind coming out of it right there. See that? That's the outflow of wind coming out of that storm, and then that forms other storms. Fascinating. Look at that thing. How could you not like weather? So this right in through here, this cluster of storms sends the outflow, and then eventually the air starts rising, and then look at that flank of storms coming off, probably a little ridge of mountains through there, and then firing up. And you can always tell when thunderstorms are going to be nasty is when the line is moving this way, but all the clouds aloft go that way. So you can see the tops of the clouds go the different way as the line is going in another way. That's pretty wild there. So Jason, you're in the West Central Mountains. Whereabout are you located, my friend? Yeah, I'd love to see who's watching and where you're tuning in from. That's always a fun thing. Michael up there in northern Illinois. Let's go out here to, let's go back to this. What's a GOES 18? Oh, look at that. That's new. Oh, I like that. A little bit, another satellite. Oh, that is a beautiful satellite. Let's go back to 17. I think it's the same. Love this too, all the low clouds and fog along the coastal areas in the Pacific. That is phenomenal. Awesome, Joe Lab. Thanks for checking in, Meridian. There you go. Looks like Jason's over there in the West Central Mountains. So if you're just tuning in or just following kind of what I've been talking about or want to get caught up, basically what I'm concerned about here, especially for folks in Meridian and stuff like that, this right here, these storms right there, that's what I'm concerned with. I'm going to take that border blur off too, because that, for some reason, this software won't let me do it, will it? Well, stink. Sorry, the blur stays. So this here, let's do purple. So these storms right in through here, coming in around the southern Idaho, northern Nevada border, that's what we're watching. That's what I'm concerned with. There's some big ones back here and another line here, and they are all going to pinwheel to the north. But for southwest Idaho, and for those who don't know the area, this right here is a mountain range, and that is a mountain range, and there's a valley in between. Most Boise and all this area is a valley. There's nothing here, by the way. It's just dust and dust and dust, and nobody should ever move here. That's for folks who've never been to Idaho. It's ugly here. Never come. Big wolves eat people. But this cluster of storms moving on in from the south to the north, I don't think they're going to make it into the Treasure Valley. I think they're going to get close enough to drop a little bit of downburst winds in our area. And so with this. Oh, what did I do now? I did something again. Interact with it. Okay. So here in southwest Idaho, we can see those stronger storms starting to move in from the south. And with the atmosphere as hot as it is across the region and dry, so it's not as humid as it was, the rain will fall into that dry air, evaporate, send a little downburst wind coming in our direction. So I think that is the concern as these storms move up from the south to the north. And if I go to this forecast model there that we've looked at before and put into motion, you get a sense of exactly what I'm talking about. So this is going in towards the early morning hours. So from right here, the model is 6 p.m. and then goes up into 7 right there. There's 8. So it is picking up. This is the model that was run previously. It is picking up those storms coming in towards the border right around this time, which is really good. And then as it continues moving up, notice how they come close to Boise, which is right there, and then veer a little bit or veer back to the northwest. So I don't see it getting into the Snake River or over the Snake River, but because it's going to be so close, then I think the winds will move on through. Will Boise get any thunderstorms this week? Oh, good question. Flu virus. And Jason in McCall. All right, McCall. Love that area. You've seen a few people move into McCall. Oh, my goodness. So let me see about this week, thunderstorms this week. Great question. Let me look into a little magic map here that I don't think you can see on your end. So, to answer your question, yes. So it looks like thunderstorm activity. Better chance for some storms tomorrow afternoon popping up off the mountains. Maybe a few could drift into the Treasure Valley, but generally they'll be in the mountains, which would lead to more lightning strikes. And then eastern Idaho looks to get popped going into that's tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. And then more storms going in on, because today's Thursday, right? So for Saturday, looks like Saturday, some scattered showers and storms. Actually, Friday night into Saturday morning, maybe, probably more Friday night. So tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, scattered showers and storms. Saturday actually looks pretty good, so scratch that on Saturday. The mountains seeing scattered showers and storms for the weekend. But southwest Idaho looking pretty dry. Again, if some of those storms pop up close to us, we could get some gusty winds into the area, so we want to watch out for that. Boy, it doesn't look like a whole lot coming our way outside of, thunderstorms, but it looks like that heat's going to come through again. Holy smokes, that's not fun looking. So, yeah, hot and dry. And let's see how hot. Oh, I'm really curious. Now you got me really thinking. Let's go to there. There. And, oh yeah, it's going to be a scorcher, as we used to say back in New England, up in the Northeast. Really hot and humid. Scorcher. No, it just looks nasty. Triple digits and then some. Whew. Not fun for the week. Ouch. How do you think the La Nina will affect Southwest Idaho this winter? I'll have to jump into that. I haven't taken a look at most of my outlooks. Last year, the La Nina, that was one of my better forecasts. I mean, it was spot on. If you remember last fall, early on, we wiped away most of the drought in the West. I mean, we got pummeled, and I forecast that. Then, of course, it diminished after that. But yeah, that was a good weather pattern last year for the La Nina. But I usually do a winter weather outlook every year, and it's one of my biggest hit videos. I do a whole Pacific Northwest outlook and really break it down. And yeah, and it's been fairly accurate through the years. Timing, of course, when you go that far out is always an issue. But yeah, that was always a lot of fun to do, the winter weather outlook. And so also, why do most of the stronger thunderstorms mostly miss Boise? It just depends on where the pattern's set up. We really need a real good angle of the weather pattern in order to get storms into Boise, the right angle, if you will. Yeah, we get our share, but sometimes I used to call it the Owyhee Shuffle when I was on air. Basically, it is the southwest corner of the state, the Owyhee Mountains, and the storms will come up and kind of split around the area. And I used to call it the Owyhee Shuffle. This is kind of like the Owyhee Shuffle, what we have going on right now, a little bit. It's kind of brushing on in. Oh, yeah, Jason, just saw your text on Larry. Yeah, I didn't know the man. I've met him a couple of times. Of course, he had a pretty good following and did it for years. And sad about the health issues. I will say this, for the heart stuff, one of my closest friends that I grew up with just died in his sleep, 49 years old, and I had not grieved like that. This was 2.5, 3 years ago. And I mean, we were like family. I grew up in that house, and I put on a lot of weight, grieving and depressed, and I was up to 237, and that's the most I've ever weighed. And I went and got blood work done, had type 2 diabetes, cholesterol through the roof. The doctor said, dude, you're going to end up like your friend. So I'm now down to 193. So, yeah, mind that heart, that health, especially if you're our age or get up into the 50s, 60s, whatever. It's a silent killer. I know it's cliche and you hear it all the time, but yeah, nasty stuff. Sad, real sad for friends and family who knew him. So thanks for sharing that. Last time I saw a strong thunderstorm was that shelf cloud back in late May. Yeah, the shelf clouds are great. We get some pretty good looking clouds here in southwest Idaho sometimes because the high base thunderstorms and all the winds and the different type of density in the air masses. You can get all kinds of cool cloud formations. And I noticed the sunsets out here are something special too, especially when you get a little smoke to the west. And you can get some really cool sunsets, especially in the winter when the sun angle's lower. And so when the sun angle is lower, then, the wavelength of light is a little lower and the angles are a little different. And some of those wavelengths are a little longer. And, of course, the red is the longest wavelength of light. That's why we see that first in a rainbow. And so we'll see... yeah, so that's why we see some of the reds out there in the winter months. Thanks, Jason. Thank you so much, my friend. Thanks for sharing. And, yeah, love to have you share and support and subscribe to the Weather Show. That's always a big thing. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. The bell. If you hit the bell, you get updates, and you'll know when I'm on. So thank you for watching. Yeah, I appreciate you so much. I'm rambling now, so... It's about 7:37, and I'm starting to get hungry, but let's go and check the radar. And so now we see some of the radar. It's not looking ominous, but I'm going to go to the national radar. Pause it and go to the end. So this shows as the sun goes down, the storms will weaken a little bit across the region. But yeah, we're seeing that line kind of propagate now over Interstate 80 in the northern Nevada, coming into southwestern areas of Idaho. So that's what we'll deal with overnight. Of course, the heavy rains, that line has pressed down in through the Phoenix area. So Phoenix getting just pummeled with now not so much severe weather, but the heavy rains and the flash flooding. That's what that last image shows. This one right here. That is the flash flood warning that's up. And that's going to go all the way till 10:30 tonight in the southwest corner of the state. So there's a lot of rain coming down on a short. Oh, I know what I haven't done. This will show us the rain in just a second. This is a cool little map. So this, let's go to southwest Idaho. Southwest Idaho, as I've just renamed the United States Idaho. Southwest United States. Oh, they are seeing some pretty good wind gusts. That's a 47-mile-per-hour wind gust. That looks like that is just up around Paradise Valley, north of Paradise Valley. By the Deer Valley Airport. So, Cave Butte, 47. So the Deer Valley Airport right here, 47 gust of wind miles per hour. But coming down in towards, there's Tempe. Been there many a times. My late father-in-law from a previous marriage. Oh, great guy. Miss him. Passed away years ago. All right, so let me show you this. This is the latest rainfall in an hour across the region. I'm going to turn the observations off. And so now we can see how much rain has fallen in some of these areas with a flash flood warning within an hour's time. So this is within an hour. So this is tremendous. So some areas north, that's 1.5 inches in an hour of rain in the Phoenix area. And the desert, that is a lot of water in a short amount of time. And those desert sands, they don't absorb. They just, like concrete, the water just runs right off it. 1/2 inch of rain in an hour has fallen. That's what this is showing. And how much rainfall has happened in the last hour in some of these flash flood and flash flood watch areas. Wow, tremendous amount of rain, but that's all sliding down to the southeast. Ooh, look at that. That is Winslow. There's some darker reds up through here. I wonder if that's 2 inches of rain. Yeah, 2 inches of rain. A lot of this rainfall, typically you would divide by 2 under normal rain situations to get the estimated rainfall totals. But with a lot of these thunderstorms in the high humidity areas, they're pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. Let's see if we got any. Yeah, this is showing some. So this storm that's now coming in over the Idaho border is packing some punch to it. That's a 1/2 inch of rain in an hour's time. So like I said, I don't see it making over the mountains and getting into the Snake River, but I do see it getting close enough where the winds will get gusty overnight tonight. So if you're just tuning in, and you know, folks in southwest Idaho, you're going to want to bring the stuff in, stuff like, that will blow around, toys, that sort of thing. Yeah, that gives you a good idea of what I'm talking about. 46 mile per hour wind gust from a thunderstorm down around Winnemucca. Not a lot of gusty winds back up here at all, hardly anything. 18 mile per hour, it looks like. Just so light winds, but I think as we go overnight tonight, we're going to see some of that change in the area. So there's Phoenix, and there's the showers and storms still marching from south to north. Out of Nevada, pinwheeling, a lot of it's going to diminish, but as the model has been showing, a lot of it is going to stay together, get up into southeastern areas of Oregon and southwest areas of Idaho. Yeah, I agree. The sky's beautiful here. I'm just reading some of the comments. Flu virus. That's a great name, flu virus. What a joke that thing was, though, huh? Drives me crazy. CDC changed everything. All the people lost their jobs. I mean, fired, all because they didn't want to wear a mask, all this stuff. And now, just for the heck of it, they just shut it all down. You don't need it anymore. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't want to get political. I'm not a political dude. I'm a forecaster, they tell me. So I'll stick there. All right, so looks like things are diminishing. Hey, let's go back out to Iowa. Looks like that line is starting to diminish below severe limits. So, yeah, right on cue. So, like I said, those Severe Storm Prediction Center guys in Norman, Oklahoma, they do such a great job. So, there's the last of the watch. The cutaway, the watch just kind of goes down and down and down, and now they're just worried about this little area, And a severe thunderstorm, basically, for those who don't know, 58 mile per hour winds or higher, and hail an inch in diameter. It used to be 3/4 of an inch. When I was back in the day, but now they made it an inch in diameter for a severe thunderstorm to be a severe thunderstorm. Is that a low I see popping up around Nevada Van? Let's go and yeah, so thanks for tuning in. Heavy there. And we've been following this low. I'll give you a little recap. So turn this off. Yep, so there's your low. It's a broad area of upper level low pressure system. It's basically spinning in southeastern areas of Oregon, and that will continue moving to the north. And so with the heat, the instability is there in the atmosphere. You just need a little trigger. And so, yeah, we've got an upper level low right in through here. And then the front associated with it kind of here, and it kind of tapers off. Not so much of a front, it's just more of a trough. But you can see that the spin coming around it is triggering in the heat that's going on across the region, off those mountains and the desert, popping the storms across the region. So, and the concern I've been having tonight is where I'm these in particular, these storms coming in across southern Idaho, northern Nevada right now, will continue to materialize back up through the Oahes. Like I said, they'll kind of pinwheel and follow these clouds, see those cloud directions. But they will be close enough to dump some wind in our direction, and I think that's what we'll get, wind coming on in. Jason, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Sorry to hear about your wife, my friend. You just hang in there. All right, so and that's where we'll see gusts of wind moving on in from south to north across the region. And I thought we'd see a little bit more activity. I've seen it in the past whenever we get this here. I think if I do arrow, yeah. So if we ever we get like a flow kind of in the upper level, see how these clouds are kind of fanning like that direction there? That's diffluence. Anytime we see diffluence aloft, that means there's convergence down below, and that's where we usually see some good thunderstorms start to form. And in the high heat, sometimes some of those storms can pulse up and just drop a lot of wind in a short amount of time. I remember way back early 2000s, there was that devastating accident out there at the Idaho Center, the outdoor theater, and the speakers fell on folks. And I forgot the country artist's name. I was actually contacted by them for the court case, and yeah, that's those downburst winds that we can get out of the south moving to the north, even though the storms don't come through. And I thought we were going to see some scenario like that, but this system, I think this low right here, if that was here a little bit towards the east, so if I think this low here was more in this position here, then we'd be talking about something tonight. We'd be talking about some of the activity you see here. Not the case. So that's kind of where we're at. That is where we're at. Yeah, see, yeah, huge downburst. Yeah, that thing came in from the south, and people were all in the front. And those giant speakers stacked up like 2-3 stories high just fell. And I mean, people were seriously injured. Yeah, that was not a fun event. But that's why, that's kind of why I got into weather, to help people, get the message out. And I think that's where local media has kind of drifted. They care less about the big storms and saving lives. I mean, back in the day, man, I don't even think hardly anybody does a severe thunderstorm crawl anymore across the screen, and it's pretty sad. But times have changed. We've got so much better means for information now. Online, the internet, television's just kind of like a has-been. It's like hardly nobody watches. Everybody's streaming. Fascinating. Yeah, it's a pretty good little storm. So, the problem, though, looking long range, is we're going to get that ridge of high pressure, and it is just going to get hot. We're talking 104, 110 kind of hot going into next week, looking at a couple of the models at first glance. So, yeah, that's going to be uncomfortable. Let's see what we got here in the old... That's a good call. Whoever put out that flash flood watch, not so much for, New Mexico, but Arizona. Tremendous. Ooh, it looks like a couple of new warnings are out around Phoenix. Oh, and look at that. Look at the gust of wind. That's probably why right there. I bet you some of those observations. Look at that outflow. So these lines right in through there, coming out, converging down through the Phoenix area. That's a line of wind coming out of those storms, dropping in through the region. And then that last orange box popped up right there for that cluster of storms. And then there as well. So that's a pretty good cluster of storms. Great question about the dust storm. Here, I don't, we could get some dust kicked up, but as far as like the huge dust storms, I don't see that happening overnight. But boy, Glendale, Scottsdale, north of Phoenix, about to get popped. That warning is it says 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's wrong. I think that one should be 8 p.m. Time zone stuff. And then this is around Florence. That's a pretty good storm there too. Look at that. So I think a lot of that is from issued because of those winds. So let's see what we got. Going down to Phoenix. See if that, so there you go. So that outflow that was showing up on the radar has produced some wind gusts there. Looks like 37, 45, 39. So that's a great gust of wind coming up out of there. So if you know friends and family in Phoenix, send them a text, send them a tweet, send them this link. Say, hey, you got some nasty weather heading your way. Glendale. I enjoyed my times in Glendale when we went down there for the Bronco coverage. That was amazing. That little game against Oklahoma was pretty good. That was a good one. I just saw Marty Tadman on Facebook, friends with him on Facebook. He's doing great, looks great. He was just a stud in that game. He was defensive MVP. He was amazing. Back to Phoenix. I got the local up. I'm going to take down. I don't want that. What are you doing? That's what I want. So this is a result here by Glendale with that storm coming on. Queen Creek, Arizona. Let me take a look. Oh, that's just southeast of Chandler. Ah, see that? Let's go take a look at that area. So they are going to get, so this thing here, that's to the east of them, that is heading their way. So if I put that into motion, you see the storms coming in from the right side of your screen. And that's what I would be concerned with there for sure. So let's see, there's Queens Creek right there. Well, that storm is kind of moving a little bit down to the southwest after further review. But yeah, they're going to get some of these storms that are forming. There's one forming just to the north. Just north of the Queens Creek. So fascinating. I'm just going to weather geek out here for a second. So that there's Queens Creek right there underneath my mouse. And watch the gust of wind come through with the outflow. You'll see like a thin purple line coming through right there. See that? That line comes through. Now that line started forcing the air up into the atmosphere, and right after it, a storm forms right in through there. So right by Gold Canyon, that storm pops up because the wind comes through, starts forcing the hot air up, and boom. So, yeah, it looks like your family around Queen Creek are going to get some thunderstorms. So, yep, let them know. I'm sure they're aware of it by now. I would hope they are, because the storm's been popping there the whole time. But you never know. You never know. And because the flash flood watch is up there, so check this out. So that, why is that? So put the hazards back up. Yeah, so all that green there for the whole southern part of the state is a flash flood watch. So the heavy rain's really going to be a problem down there, Catherine. Oh, your brother's a storm watcher. I love it. That's how I got into it. I would. My dad, aunts, uncles, everybody loved the weather, and I think that's how I got into it, to be honest. Love watching those storms. Thank you so much for checking in, too. Appreciate you being here on the show. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Hit the like. Tell your friends and family to do the same. Help this starving weatherman get the message out. Oh, no way. Jason, look at that. So ash now from the Four Corners fire up there by McCall's is reaching McCall. Jason's up in McCall, and so there's ash from the fire reaching McCall. That's not fun. I live just down by the Boise Mall area, and those planes been going over my house. They fly right over, drop the water up there, so I hope they keep doing that. Let's see what the winds are there, Jason. Oops. I keep moving the map and not hit the interact button before I move the map. So I apologize for the inconvenience. No prevailing winds up there from that fire drifting in your area. Matter of fact, it's pretty calm. But yeah, it gets up there and just settles into the atmosphere and just kind of drifts over. So do you have a lot of low visibility, Jason, there? Let me see what the visibility is coming in here. Well, the visibility is 10 miles, but that doesn't mean much because they're automated visibility sensors now. Are you seeing a lot of smoke up there, Jason? I wonder if you're seeing a lot of haze or if the air quality's terrible. Catherine, where you checking in from tonight? Where are you joining us from? We've had Northern Illinois tonight, McCall, Meridian. It's cooled down pretty good, 92. I went out for a run the other night, and it was 97, right around now when the sun set. Beautiful. I love running in the warmer. I'm not a big runner, but, oh, Boise, great. Glad to have you here, Catherine. Glad to have you here on the Weather Show. But my legs are feeling it. 53 years old, man. Running some hills and slow jog. Dew points are up there. Check that out. This is pretty interesting. So maybe we will see a rumble of thunder overnight. Of course, Lake Lowell, it's a lake, right? A lot of water. And the moisture a lot higher back out towards Lake Lowell. And it looks like that expands. That's the blue number I'm looking at. The blue number is the dew point temperature. It's a measure of how much water's in the atmosphere. So that's pretty humid out there around Nampa. And when we see dew points in the 50s with this type of heat, pulse thunderstorms, very possible. That's why I was really concerned earlier that we'd see a few. Boise 45. Is that Cuna? Around Lake Hazel and Eagle Road, the dew points in the upper 40s to around 50. So, yeah, I think that there's a chance that we could see some scattered showers and storms kind of roll on through, maybe just around the Snake River tonight. I'm so curious now to see how far north they're going to make it. I don't plan to be on around midnight, but I bet you if you go out tonight and look to the south around midnight, you'll see a light show. You'll see some streaks of lightning popping up across the sky if you're into that sort of thing, which I kind of like a lot. Let's go check into our local radar here. So what you're looking at is a national composite radar. When I do this here, national, that's the... So this is a national radar, so it's a composite. Basically, it takes all the scans of the radar and shoves it into the nice one big colored picture. When we go local, we have opportunity of hitting our Doppler radar here locally, and that's why I clicked on Boise. So it's a little bit more detailed. You get a little bit more data from it. And so what I'm looking for, because it comes out of that little, just south of Boise, that little hole there you see, that is where the radar site is. It goes up at a 1/2 degree angle. So when you get way out here by the southern Idaho border, that is showing thunderstorms which are really high up in the atmosphere. And so it's intersecting that and showing that information. And so the radar as of 7:55 shows that red dot there. That's a pretty good one, is what I'm trying to say. It's pretty high, it's pretty mature, and it's also picking up this one now. I'm getting some good return. So as it comes to the north, it should get up to just around the Silver City area, right around the highest ridges, and then kind of fall apart. But with this storm coming up here to the north, it's going to help trigger more storms. Little ones at first, and then they'll propagate more to the north, and then that will send a gust of wind down to the Treasure Valley floors. And that's what I'm thinking about tonight, those gust of winds that come on through. If you're just tuning in or just checking us out, I've been going and referencing this with the folks who've been watching all night. And you can see this is the forecast model from earlier. This is bringing those storms from the south where we're showing them and propagating them onto the north gradually. You can see how it takes its time to get on up to the north. And so by the early morning hours, around 6 a.m., 7 o'clock, we could have a few maybe showers, storms floating around the area, around southern areas of Ada County and Canyon County, down around the Snake River. And then as this line continues to, it's really not a line, of 1 or 2 storms kind of mature, move to the north, you get the rain into a drier atmosphere, and that helps propagate wind as the liquid evaporates into the atmosphere. It cools the atmosphere, and cold air sinks, and the winds spread out from the bottom. So what's not fun is that there will be lightning strikes from this line of storms from southern Utah, scattered through Nevada, back through southwest Idaho, and that will bring more fire starts. So we could have a smoky end here, a smokier end to August and early September than we want, but it is that time of year, and we've been spoiled this year so far with lack of smoke. It's been gorgeous. Crystal clear blue skies. But that's the model. And the radar has been following suit. With that model, which is pretty cool. All those blue dots are just local radar sites. And you can see things still hopping down here by Phoenix. So now, Catherine in Queen Creek, a severe thunderstorm warning is up. So if you contacted them, that was a great thing. And that warning it says 7:15 Phoenix time. I'm not sure how their time zone works. But yeah, severe thunderstorm warning up for your family there, Catherine. Down there south of Phoenix. By Queen Creek. Well, they must know that. I'm sure they're hearing it coming. They must know it's coming. Gust of wind, and hopefully they're getting a lot of coverage. And now Phoenix area, look at that. Oh, that's a nasty looking storm. So Phoenix, Glendale, they're about to get pummeled again, and that's a nasty looking storm there. So this radar is a little old, so it's coming in at 7:58. So it's about 10 minutes old. So that makes sense, I guess, for that. Yeah, they're just about an hour different. So that makes sense with this warning, and it's a 10-minute old. Yeah, it looks like they got a storm right on them right now. So then it's allowed to expire. But with that heat and the humidity down there, that's probably going to lead to another warning here shortly around Phoenix. Now, let me check and see here. Storm reports. Haven't done that in a while. And there is a wind report, storm report out of Arizona. A lot of wind reports tonight. Arizona, around Lake Havasu City, 58-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So that's a pretty big wind gust right through there. We've got a 59, a 61, a 60, Texas, Minnesota. Another one in Arizona. Florida had trees down in Riddick up by Marion County, Apalachicola. I love saying that, Florida. So that's generally northern Florida, up by Jacksonville. I think there's a football game there tonight. I thought Jacksonville was playing tonight. I'm not sure who's playing in the NFL. But Phoenix, the red boxes are flash flood warnings, and they usually, because of the water, the runoff, they get just pounded with a lot of water in a short amount of time. Those warnings will go longer than the severe thunderstorm warnings. Very strong thunderstorms, though, even though there's not a warning there. And there is a thunderstorm right on Queen Creek right now. Well, as of 8:03. So about 9 minutes ago. Fun times. This has been fun. Can I do this like every night? Can I? I love talking about weather. And I can talk for a long time. But I might have to go and get some rest. Couldn't sleep well last night. I don't know what it was. Probably because I had coffee too late in the evening. But was tossing and turning all night. I'll sleep well tonight, that's for sure. Currently 80 degrees in McCall, mostly cloudy. Humidity is 24. Winds are out of the south at 5. Light ash falling from active fire up on the West Mountain, just east of Donnelly. Wow. Another fire on West Mountain. That's a horrible spot for a fire. I love West Mountain. I love going up to Boulder Lake, up through that area. That place is gorgeous. That is one of the best. Unfortunately, it's easy to get to. So you can do, I shouldn't say unfortunate. I hope everybody gets up and enjoys it. It's a day hike, right? You can go up there. It's a lot of families. But when I got up there a long time ago, I went up with a float tube. And I got the float tube in Boulder and just caught all kinds of fish. It was so fun. Tony! South Carolina, yeah, there's stuff in South Carolina. It's down towards the coast, though. Do you have any friends and family in South Carolina? I worked 4 years in North Carolina. I used to go to South Carolina quite a bit to cover hurricanes. That was for NBC News and Network. If you saw some crazy fool on the Today Show and all that back in the 90s, that was me. So, yeah, this is in Beaufort, that area there. Let's go local. And looks like we'll get this radar here. And so, if it's not, maybe it's not active. There it is. Took a while for it to load. So yeah, thunderstorms around South Carolina. This is from the cluster earlier I mentioned that was working its way up from Georgia, getting on up towards the coast around Charleston. Yeah, so South Carolina, the Myrtle Beach area, all going to get some stuff. Let's show you this, because I think this was a really helpful forecast from earlier. You can see South Carolina down through there. This is a national loop from a forecast model taken a while ago. And so you can see some of right around that corner. It won't let me zoom or anything. But yeah, South Carolina going to get a lot of storms tonight, a lot of heavy rains. This is going in through the overnight hours, and then right about here, let's see, that's 8. See, that's about 2 in the morning, maybe 3, 4 in the morning. South Carolina getting into some scattered showers and storms, primarily middle of the state and southeast. But real heavy, intense stuff starts to pop up overnight. So that could become pretty dangerous in South Carolina actually overnight. So if you have any friends, family there, you may want to tell them, especially looks like right along I-20 going in towards I-95, the Myrtle Beach area going in towards 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. What a washout. And then around Wilmington, South Carolina. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a new little map here for you on the fly, just because I can. So be patient with me. I'm going to do something really cool here. Southeast. And, oh, there's the 0Z. Do that. What I'm doing here is I'm getting a southeast sector for the latest model run on that. And I'm going to put that here into my show, so you can see it and we can have fun. And it should pop up right over my face any second. Bingo. And now I can make it big. Oh yeah. Now we're talking. Matter of fact, I'll make it real big here and slow it down. Oh, Crosby, what are you doing? And yeah, so that's better. So there you go. There's South Carolina. So this is North Carolina, South Carolina. You can see Georgia there. And then the cluster of storms coming in overnight tonight. You can see how they kind of fizzle out. This is right about here is tomorrow morning where they really get intense, around 8 o'clock in the morning there. And then continue moving on up towards Wilmington and out there towards the Puget Sound of North Carolina, the Outer Banks. I think that's going to be a nasty scenario. I-95, not a good place to travel overnight tonight, throughout the day tomorrow morning. Heavy rains, some flash flooding possible. So, yeah, South Carolina, not that great. Are you in South Carolina, Tony? Is that where you're at? Or are you here locally? Are you watching us from South Carolina? I guess I should have asked that question. I keep forgetting that this thing is national and worldly, and people could be watching from all over. I hope you are, and I hope you subscribe. I'm going to do this more and more because I'm having a blast doing it. So laid back. South Carolina, awesome. Where in South Carolina? I worked in North Carolina for years. Myrtle Beach. That's awesome. So here's a wild story. North Myrtle Beach, I believe it is. I want to say it was David's Steakhouse. There's a steakhouse down there that my cousin from my mom's side, so the second cousin, so he's like real old. He ran that, actually. Myrtle Beach. Great golf. So I worked in Raleigh in the 90s. My first TV job was starting NBC News in Raleigh for 4 years. And then it was bought by the network. And so I was there. Hi, Dale. I was there covering Fran, Bertha, tons of hurricanes for the network. It was awesome. In Wilmington, just up there from Myrtle Beach. So golfed in Myrtle Beach quite a bit back when I was a wild child in my 20s. Woo. Louis Lake is beautiful, Jason. That's a great lake. I caught a trout out of there. One of the most fun times I had was just that little lower Boulder Reservoir you can drive right up to there. There's a lot of fun fishing there. Put a float tube in there. That's awesome. Catherine, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you for watching. Thank you. This has been fun. But there's your Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'll have to be working on my winter weather outlook. Gosh, time has flown by. It's the 18th of August already. It won't be long before we're talking about fall and hunting and all that. Where's my radar? There it is. So there's the Myrtle Beach area, that cluster storm moving on up. I'm going to check in on Phoenix again. Looks like the storms have the severe storms have moved down to the south and west, and then back up here, Winnemucca area. We can see tremendous thunderstorm activity down by Elko, over by Winnemucca. That's a nasty storm, actually. See that bow, how it just bows out there in the red? That's going to send a lot of wind and nasty rains, and there's some whites in there too. So that's the hail shaft right in through there. That is nasty. Dale, you're going to make me throw up. I don't do Farmer's Almanac. Oh, my goodness, a Farmer's Almanac. I actually will follow, I have a whole way of doing long-range forecasts. I've been doing it for a while and predicted, I think it was like a 12-year-in-a-row stint when I was on TV. I predicted the snowpack for the year right on the money. Way back, like late summer, early fall, based on some things I studied in my career as a meteorologist. And so I use that technique a lot, and I haven't really looked at it yet, and I will, to see what kind of snowpack we'll have this year. So if you're just tuning in, we've been talking about all night, this right here, southern Idaho border, these little storms, doesn't look like a whole lot. Not going to amount to a lot of rain in the Treasure Valley by any stretch, but as these move up to the north, they're going to come in across southwest Idaho, approaching the Snake River eventually in the overnight hours, and then that is going to send, the way the atmosphere is set up, a gust of wind down through the valley floors. And so that's where I think, if you have any outdoor stuff, chairs, that sort of thing, you want to bring them in, just not bring them in, just lock them down. Definitely if you have any umbrellas that are open, you want to close them up because some of that stuff could blow around overnight tonight. This model here really tells a good story. This is right about now. We're seeing those storms form to our south. See how they kind of increase and come close to the Snake River and then kind of never really make it in. I think we'll get a few possibly to come on in southern Ada, southern Canyon County tomorrow morning. But the gust of wind, you're going to hear it. The atmosphere is set up where it is pretty unstable. We have some dew points that are higher than they normally have been. Not as humid as it has been, the past few days or weeks. But it's hot. The atmosphere is set for a good, how do I put it, relief. So the storm will pop up, could dump a lot of water in a short amount of time to our south, and then that will provide that evaporative cooling, and then that would slide the winds to the north. So I think there's going to be some gusty winds overnight. Thinking we will see above average snow. Yeah, we'll see. One of these days I'm going to write a book or a paper on how I forecast because it's a good technique and it works. And back when I was graduating college in 91, a long time ago, it was a real talked about kind of process, and that nobody talks about it anymore because of the increase in speeds of computers. Everything's computerized. The new meteorologists don't do a fraction of the things that we used to do back in the day to learn and understand. I think that's why a lot of the art of forecasting has really disappeared. Many people will just do some nowcast, take some graphic data, some model data, and throw it out there. But to really hone in on to know the model's wrong, I think that's amazing. Tony, thank you so much from South Carolina. Love South Carolina. Go to the beach, enjoy it, have some seafood for me. Appreciate you. Please subscribe to the show. Tell your friends and family to subscribe as well. Myrtle Beach. Let's hope for no hurricanes in Myrtle Beach this year. It's crazy the destruction that water can do when it comes onshore, the ocean plowing onshore. One of these days, I'm going to put together a video of all my old stuff when I had hair and I was younger and in those storms. I've got some footage that will blow your mind. Crazy. Storm surge footage that will just make you go, what? Crazy stuff. Let's see what we got outside temperature-wise right now and across the region. Still holding on to 91, but that dew point now 47 in Boise. So, you know what? I've been saying that I think the storms are going to graze us. I think we could see a few showers around tomorrow morning now. Just looking at the atmospheric setup that I'm seeing. Not a lot of gusts of wind, but around the storms when it gets into the atmosphere. So climbs over these Owyhees. There's Silver City right there. The black number is the air temperature. The blue number is the dew point temperature. The red number, that's a wind gust. Wind gust. So it looks like 14 miles per hour, just southern Ada County. Otherwise calm and tranquil and stagnant. I didn't know there was a big fire going on there at West Mountain. Up here in McCall. That's a bummer. That is a bummer for sure. All right, so I didn't even look how many we have even tuning in. It's been on and off, 4 or 5. Yeah, we're up around 6. So we've had folks from Northern Illinois tonight, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, which I think is so cool. And we got Boise, McCall. So we're getting a pretty good sample here. I like that we've got some viewers. I'm really really happy. I like that graphic too I did on the I did an embossment graphic. Yeah, the more you can share a link to the weather show, the more you can subscribe, that would be great. I appreciate all the support. What is the black mark? Oh, in Vail. Dale Sanchez in Vail. What is the black mark? What black mark? Oh, the black mark on the observation. That is where the observation's taken. So the circle is where the observation's taken. The line is the wind direction. And then the barb coming off it, the flag coming off that line, is the wind speed, sustained. So, awesome. Awesome sauce. So we're having some fun. It is the evening. It's 8:31. I'm going to do a last look here at the radar. I've been doing this for, a while now. And we'll go around the country and see what we have going on. So here's the Boise radar as of 8:22. So not too old. But boy, I'll tell you what, that model that was run earlier this afternoon, right on the money. Look at, it's picked out the 2 areas here of thunderstorm activity almost in the exact spots around the same time. Crazy. So, yeah, from now until around midnight, we should see all these expand from the south all the way back up to the north. And then that'll send the gusts of wind through. Lightning pics are the greatest, Dale. I love a good lightning picture. It's phenomenal how that whole process works. There's Vail right there. It looks like you got I don't know, that's a gust of wind coming in from your south. A little bit of activity here to your south there, Vail. Don't think a lot of that moisture is going to hit the ground if it is rain, but it is coming in from the south. I'm going to put the loop on. So I think what you'll see is the banding, if you will, because the upper level low is back to the west of you there, Dale and Vail. So you get a little bit of wind coming out there. Yeah, so that's probably from that line, just a release of energy in the atmosphere right up just to your south. Yep, a little bit of wind. .22. So that's what we have there to the south. Let's go down and check and see what's going on in Phoenix. Some flash flood warnings still up there. Scattered thunderstorms all over the Phoenix area. Around Glendale, north up around Scottsdale. Matter of fact, that looks ugly. That helps me a little bit better, helps us see things a little bit better here. You can change the opacity, I love it. It's Cave Creek, Mesa, Scottsdale, right downtown Phoenix, seeing a thunderstorm. Right around Sky Harbor Boulevard and, is that South 40th Street? Yeah, just in between Phoenix and Tempe. Been down that road a few times. Queen Creek seeing some rain. There's a pretty good thunderstorm on the 202. And up there around Peoria. National radar time. And let's see if we got any. Oh, I know what I did. I took the hazards down. There we go. So yeah, the flash flood watch is still in effect there for almost all of Arizona and New Mexico. Looks like there's a flash flood warning now. Lubkin, that's up there in Texas by Natchitoches County. A lot of flooding going on north of and southeast Texas. Stuff coming in from South Carolina moving north. And all the orange, that's heat advisories. It's hot. It's hot in the west. Now, hey, just FYI, all this orange here, where the heat's through the roof, all moving east next week, over the course of the next week. Several days of 100. I use lighting camera. It's a great app. You can get on your phone and take 100 pictures, 20 seconds. Wow, that's a great app. That's a great piece of advice there, Dale. Thank you. Lightning camera. That's awesome. 100 pics in 20 seconds. That'll fill up the data quick. So it looks like the severe thunderstorms have all fallen apart there. That line of storms. We were talking to Michael D. Michael D was his name, yep. He's in northern Illinois. We talked to him earlier. He's probably going to see some storms there tomorrow morning. We had Meridian. Who else we have? We had a lot of flu virus, whoever that is. Heavy on the scene. Catherine and Jason. Thank you all so much for watching. Tony Sargent, South Carolina. And good old Dale, watching from Vail. Dale from Vail. I have a cousin, no joke, you ready for this one? This will freak you out. I have a cousin, Darylyn, from Maryland. Think of that. It rhymes away. Darylyn from Maryland. All right, I think I'm going to wrap things up, folks, because I've been rambling, and I appreciate everybody and interacting with everybody. Watch out for, I guess, the gust of winds overnight. Don't be surprised to see some 25 to 45 mile per hour gusts kind of rolling through towards the midnight hour, as you can see the stuff kind of rotating here coming out of northern Nevada, out of Interstate 80. But the line that's down just over the southern Idaho border is going to come into the north and gradually get up closer and closer to the Snake River just in the early morning hours. And then by daybreak tomorrow, it'll be around to our south, a lot of gray clouds, but we could see some lightning strikes, gusts of wind from that shower activity roll from south to north. And then we could maybe see 1 or 2 drops of dust raindrops, I call them, coming on through. That is it. That was a lot of fun tonight. Thank you for everybody who tuned in. Looks like we got that flood warning out there on South Carolina. And I am going to call it a night. So thank you again. Subscribe, tell your friends and family, please, to do so as well. I appreciate everyone who supports the weather show at Vin Crosby. And now you can even make monetary donations on our live feed, which is always fun as well. So blessings to y'all. Be safe. I may have to do this again tomorrow night. I don't know. We'll see. I'm really enjoying the live streaming. Really enjoying it.